Savannah! Well, this is just awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We're really excited. I'm really excited. The guys in the suitcases are excited. And this show is called Minding the Monsters. Why? Well, we wanted to do a show that was different. I wanted to do something that I'd never done before. I've done the stand-up shows, I've done the specials, but I wanted something scary. So I said, pick a scary city. And everybody went, so you know the answer. You know why this place is scary. There's lots of reasons, but let me tell the rest of the world. Savannah is known for being scary because you have haunted houses, you have haunted cemeteries. Every night there are ghost tours going around the city. My ex-wife was born here. So we decided, what the heck, we'll do it here. But why in the world did I want to do a monster special? Well, growing up, I always enjoyed Frankenstein. I love Dracula. I love the Mummy, all those monsters. I love scaring people. I love being scared. I think it started about the age of 5. I was an only child. And remember some of you may remember the cars back then. The American automobiles were these huge, giant things. We didn't have seat belts. There were no kid seats. I was an only kid in the back seat. These back seats were 8 feet wide. One big log bench. I could run back and forth on the bench. On the floor, the only thing in the way was a hump. You'd trip over the hump if you didn't see it. The back window, you could lay in the back window. I would do that. It was fantastic. And I would run around back there. And when my mother was driving, she wouldn't pay any attention to me. And my mother, still to this day, has a big, giant beehive hairdo. Pretty much Marge Simpson hair, but not the same color. You know what I'm saying? Looks like that. She also has these giant curlers that she uses, and she put them all over her hair. And I remember standing in the back seat, and I would look at her hair, this big, giant beehive of hairdo, all held together with Aquanet. And these big, giant curlers would make these holes, would look like caves to me. I imagined they were a maze of caves in her hair like this. I remember standing back there staring at the hair, and then I looked over on the seat of the car, and oh, there's a little rubber plastic spider, a black spider. This is all true. I took that black spider and I put it right on the edge of one of the curls. Fantastic. Looked great. I'm sitting there looking at it, and I thought, nah, that's not good enough. I found a pencil. I took the pencil. She's not paying attention. This is all true. Didn't know I was doing this, and I took that pencil and ever so gently pushed it back to the back of the curl, deep into the caves of curls. Gone. 4 days later. I am not kidding. 4 days later, my bedroom was right next to my parents' bathroom. My mother would comb out her hair about once a month. It was 4 days later, she's in the bathroom combing out her hair. The blood-curdling scream that came when that spider fell out onto her lap was worth the beating I took later that night. So as I grew up, I learned to appreciate all those monster things. And then when I had children, I taught my children that scaring and being scared was a great thing. My youngest daughter, Kenna, when she was a little kid, she was a master at scaring people. And when you're scared, there's one of 2 things that happens to you. You have one of 2 emotions usually, and it's usually fight or flight. And you don't know which one you're gonna do until you're actually really, really scared. And I'd never been really, really scared until my daughter started scaring me. This little twerp could jump out of nowhere in the middle of the darkness and like, wah! And I wasn't a flight. I didn't scream like a girl and run away. I started punching. The worst was when I was upstairs in the master bathroom. I was cleaning a toilet. I had the plunger. I was plunging the toilet. I got finished. I was walking down the hall, middle of the night like this. She jumped out of nowhere. My first reaction was like, whoa! And she's like, hey, Dad almost killed me with the plunger. Woo! She's laughing. That little kid would hide underneath my desk in my office. I had a desk that was fully enclosed. We'd sit underneath it. There was a little cave under there. She learned to hide under there. She would sit there patiently. That's what's so evil about it. She would wait for 10 minutes and then reach out and grab my legs and be like, she eventually learned to take a pillow with her. She'd be like, ah, what the, oh. Now, as they got older, I stopped scaring them, they stopped scaring me, but eventually my daughters and I figured out that scaring dogs is a fun thing to do as well. And one of our favorite dogs to scare is my little dog, Rhodey. Rhodey is a 5-pound miniature pinscher. And it's great scaring little dogs because they can't do anything to you. You know those candy bowls at Halloween that have the hand? Don't get ahead of me here. That have the little rubber hand that sticks up when you reach in to get the candy, it goes like this. First couple of times, like, oh, that's really funny. That is not a candy bowl, that is a dog bowl. Oh, yeah. So I thought this up, and the girls were at the house, and I'm like, girls, watch this. This is genius. They're like, what are you doing now, Dad? I'm just watching. This is great. I took the candy bowl. I poured out the candy. I put a piece of hamburger in the bottom of the bowl right in front of the hand. I put the bowl on the ground. Rhodey's come running in. They're like, Dad. They're like, Dad, oh, my gosh, this is hilarious. I'm like, shut up. Here she comes. Rhodey comes running in. She's like, oh, look, there's a hamburger in the bowl. She puts her head in the bowl, back of the head. Rhodey's looking around like, what the hell? Who hit me? I'm just trying to get the hamburger. The girls are like, wah! Rhodey goes back. Then she figures out it's a stupid bowl. She's pissed at the bowl now, but she wants to get the damn hamburger. 10 minutes later, she's still trying to get the frickin' hamburger. Unfortunately, dogs learn. To this day, Rhodey will not eat or drink out of a bowl that she's never met. Until she does her little army crawl. She'll be like this. It's sad, I know. But I let Rhodey get back at people after that happened to her. This past Halloween, I got a shark outfit for Rhodey. We were shooting a television show. I had a dressing room. Outside the dressing room was the hallway where everyone would walk. And you could hear him coming around the corner. And I would go, Rhodey, sick him. She'd run out the hallway, come back in. People were like, oh, that's really cute. I took the shark outfit. I put it on Rhodey. Tiny little shark outfit. The great thing about this was when the shark outfit was on the dog, you couldn't see the dog. All you could see was this misshapen shark kind of reptilian looking thing. It was an odd color, a weird shape. It had a fin right here, 2 fins out the back, a thing in the tail, and teeth and eyes. It was fantastic. Now, when you're frightened, your emotions of being frightened take over, but then your cognitive brain recognizes really quickly what it is that's frightening you, and you calm down immediately. It's like, oh, that's really funny. When something comes around the corner at you that your brain can't recognize, especially when it looks like some sort of odd reptilian prehistoric thing, your lizard primordial brain kicks in. And I mean 300-pound tough working guys would come walking around the corner. She'd come running around the corner like this, not making any noise, just, and they'd be like, what the fuck is that? I had pee stains on the carpet outside my dressing room. All right. You like the dog stories? I got one more. I adopted a dog a few months ago, and this was a surrender dog. Some family just given up on him and give him to the shelter. We didn't know why it was. We named him Buddy, and he's a Jack Russell Terrier. It took us about a half a day to figure out why some other family gave up on Buddy. Buddy's an idiot. He's like, bark, 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 run, 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 bark, 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 bark. This dog would not stop barking. He's nuts. He was a sweet dog, but he's freaking nuts. So we went to the dog trainer. We said, what do we do? The dog trainer said, I have 2 ways of taking care of a barking dog. I have to teach, work with the dog. I'm like, fantastic, what do you do? She goes, well, one is a spray bottle with water. I go, I know, we've done that. She goes, no, not just water. She goes, you don't want to do just water to a Jack Russell Terrier because they eventually like the water and think it's just a new way of getting a drink. She said, you got to mix about 40% of Listerine with the water. I'm like, oh, that's awful. She goes, no, it doesn't really hurt them. It just gets their attention, bothers them. Then they realize when they're barking, you spray them and say no, they eventually learn not to bark. I'm like, okay, Listerine in the water, got it. She said, the other way, I have this electronic collar, and it's not a mean thing. It's not a shocking collar. She goes, it's a new thing. It's an electronic thing. When the dog barks, it puffs out this puff of citronella right in their face. So eventually they learn, they learn not to bark. I'm like, okay, send us the collar. Fantastic, we'll try that. Okay, great. So we put the collar on Buddy. I got the spray bottle ready. Everything was great. Buddy would bark, spray him in the face, like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna do that. Like that, he'd learn, okay, don't like it. One day, Buddy was having a really bad day. It was raining outside. He wouldn't stop barking. Anything that moved in the backyard, he would bark at. I'm spraying with the bottle. I'm trying to get stuff done. He's barking. He's bugging the heck out of me. And I'm spraying him. He's barking. By the end of the day, this poor dog smelled like he was from the dentist's office. His hair was completely matted. His eyes were bloodshot. He looked like Nick Nolte's mugshot. That's what he looked like. And then the really sad part was he barked so much that day, the battery on the collar had worn down, and now the timing was completely off. But by the end of the day, he had learned. He's a smart dog. And I swear to God, by the end of the day, this is what he was doing. And then, when the sun came out, he was eventually running around the backyard again. He didn't care about the collar anymore. He didn't care about the Listerine, and we could not catch this dog. He'd be running around chasing squirrels, and we have an 8-foot fence that's about 5 inches wide, goes all the way around the yard, and the squirrels just run around the top of the fence and bug the heck out of the dog, and you can't catch him. Run, bark, 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 bark. But my fiance, her name is Audrey, she came up with something that was a brilliant idea. She would go out in the backyard when Buddy was barking and chasing the squirrel, and she'd stand right next to the fence and look up like she's trying to find the squirrel too. Buddy's smart. He would run up to her and go, oh, you're trying to help me. Where's the squirrel? She'd reach down and go, you idiot, I got you, you're done. All right. All right? Now, I'm watching this thinking the dog's smart. He's going to learn after about 4 or 5 times that, no, this is stupid. I can't run next to her. She's just trying to catch me. I thought, I'll get in on the act a little more. I did the same thing, but when I picked him up, I thought, I'm going to be part of the team. I would actually pick him up and hold him up, and I can pick him up just high enough that he could take his little paws on the edge of the fence, and he'd pull himself up like this, honest to God, and he could look up and down the fence like this, looking for the squirrel. And then he'd look over and look in the other yard. Okay, no squirrel. And then I'd slowly lower him back down. And then we'd walk down to the edge of the fence like we're still a few feet down. I'd pick him up. He'd do it again. Look. I eventually thought I was part of the team. Fantastic. It worked. 3 days later, I'm sitting on the couch. I look over at Audrey and I go, you know, that thing picking him up like that, that's working pretty well. She goes, yeah, working great. I go, wonder what that looks like from the other side of the fence. Sure enough, honest to God, a couple days later, get a phone call. Hi, Jeff, this is Bob from next door. Hey, Bob, what's going on? I don't know how to say this, but my wife says that your dog is spying on her in the backyard. I'm like, what are you talking about, Bob? He goes, well, I didn't believe her, but yesterday I'm out in the backyard watering the lawn, and sure enough, son of a bitch, your dog is peering over the fence. I don't know how he does it, but then he lowered himself back down. I go, yeah, Bob. He goes, no, really? And then about 30 seconds later, he's 10 feet down the fence looking at me again. And then he lowered himself back down. I'm like, okay, Bob, I'll have a talk with Buddy. And he goes, no, it's worse. I go, what's worse, Bob? He goes, well, I think your dog's trying to kill us, but he's not good at it yet. I said, Bob, what are you talking about? He goes, well, a few hours later, he's looking at me again, but then he barked, turned his head sideways, winced, and an explosion went off. Are you guys ready for the little people in the boxes? All right. Here's how this works. I told all the guys they could be whoever they want tonight. It's a monster special, so just pick. So here we go.
scientist creates an abomination that cannot be stopped. Stitched together from pieces of the dead. Here to shock women into uncontrollable hysteria and strike terror in the hearts of men.
It's alive! It's alive! And it's trying to sleep. Shut the hell up. And now I'm going to build you a bride.
You will be terrified.
Shut the hell up! This is not my idea. Good evening, Walter. Do I look like Walter? Well, you look like a Walter Frankenstein. Well, then call me Crankenstein. All right, Crankenstein, you look good. No, I don't. I look like a cross between Hillary Clinton and the Hulk. No offense, Hulk. All right. You don't look like either one of them. Then I look like Gundy in a nursing home. How about that? That would make you Pokey. Get it? You're an ass. I got it. It's pretty good. Yeah, I've been working on that. That's my angry sound. Yeah. Here's my happy sound. Here's surprised. Here's gay. If you don't like the costume, then why'd you pick this one? We're supposed to dress as whatever scared us as a kid. Oh, so for you that was Frankenstein. Actually, it was a Catholic priest, but... Everybody gets mad when I offend the Mexicans. Walter, are you ever happy? You should hope not. Why? Can you imagine me coming out of here in a good mood? Hi, everybody, I'm Walter, and life is peachy. You'd be working at Starbucks in a fucking week. Why? Language, English. And you didn't even have to push one to hear it. You know, Walter, these people came here to be entertained. Not all of them. You know, there's a handful of guys sitting out there right now whose wives are like, oh, come on, we had to go see the middle-aged dumbass and his dolls. And now those guys are sitting out there right now going, son of a bitch. It's a middle-aged dumbass and his dolls. And now you're playing dress up with your dolls. When's the tea party, Ken? Middle-aged dumbass. Which part of that did you not like the most? Middle-aged or dumbass? What do you think? Well, you're only as old as you feel, but dumbass is in the DNA. You know, speaking of age, you're not exactly young anymore. Hey! Let's think about this for a second. How long have I been in the show? 24 years. 24 years! So anybody who might have seen our show 24 years ago, yeah, I look exactly the same. You do not. Yeah, this show started out young man, old man. Pretty soon we're gonna be the stinking Sunshine Boys. I used to give you dating and marriage advice. Not too long from now, we're going to be on stage comparing colonoscopies. You know, Walter, age is a state of mind. Not when your ass starts leaking. Yeah, there's a couple of old farts in the front row going, yeah, he's right, Lars, my ass is leaking, he's right. And then after that, you're gonna die. I'll be on the shelf somewhere. Well, no more nightly prostate exams. You know, Walter, technically, you're not really Frankenstein. What? Well, most people don't realize this, but the monster was the monster, and Frankenstein was actually the doctor. Well, thank you, Professor Google's tooth looking much. Yeah, you should tweet that. How about that? Then you can tweet, I'm the huge dork, frowny face, hashtag dumbass. Walter, I'll take things that will never get you laid for $500, Alex. Well, I will say I like your costume. Oh, great. Frankenstein, right. Sounds like a Jewish name. You think Dr. Frankenstein was Jewish? I don't know. That would explain a lot. Why is that? He was digging up used body parts, right? Probably to save money. Oh, tell me I'm wrong. Yeah, that's it. He was Jewish, and that explains why his monster was angry all the time. Why? Because he circumcised the poor bastard. Now that changes the movie completely. He's killing the villagers because he's deranged. No, he's not. His wiener hurts. And it was somebody else's. You know, if I were really that monster, wherever the doctor was digging up parts, I'd hope that cemetery had one dead black guy and no Asians. That's right, I did a racist wiener joke. Happy frickin' Halloweener. Walter, you went from Frankenstein to circumcision. Focus. What the hell is circumcision? Sounds like something they cut out of the Constitution. Just the top part. All right. Yeah, by the forefathers. All right. And that's another thing. Why was the doctor's monster 7 feet tall? What? That's dangerous. He should have started with a small monster. Small monster, yeah, Franken-midget. Then if he goes nuts, just strap his ass in a kid's car seat and drive around till he falls asleep. Parents do it all the time. If he gets loose, what's the worst that could happen? You get a call from the villagers. Hey, come get your monster. He's in our yard and he's humping our cat. That's impossible. His wiener hurts. You know, Walter, you're no longer supposed to use the word midget. They don't like it. I think what they really don't like is being 3 feet tall. But I'll make sure. If there are any midgets here that have a problem, raise your hand. Higher. Higher. What's wrong with you tonight? Take a guess. I don't know. Is your wife okay? That's exactly right. Wait a minute, your wife is happy and healthy, and she's always in a good mood. I know, and it's the worst in the mornings. Good God. It's like, oh, good morning, sunshine. Oh. Holy crap. Next thing you want to drop kick her frickin' poodle. Morning, honey. It's a kick-ass day now. I should shove the stick in that dog's ass and use it to clean the toilets. course, if you're in Australia, the... Walter, I thought your marriage was solid.
It is, in a constipated kind of way.
But you still love each other.
Yes, the love changes when you get older.
How's that?
Well, you go from wanting to make out in a car to wanting to run over each other with a car. You go from, I was struck by Cupid's arrow, to maybe she'll get hit by a frickin' Camaro. From hold me and love me to kiss my ass and die, bitch.
Oh, that's awful. And what about life after death?
Huh?
Some people think that even after death, you're still together for all of eternity.
I'm pretty sure you just told me to go to hell.
Back to the monster stuff.
Sure.
Is there any particular movie that scares you?
Yeah, the film of my wedding. But if I'm depressed, I watch it backwards. You get it? She walks away.
Come on, you love your wife.
Yeah, I know. Then at our wedding, when she came walking down the aisle with that giant hair and all that makeup, I felt like yelling, "It's alive! It's alive!"
So how'd the service go?
Well, the worst part was when the minister asked if anyone objected and no one would listen to me.
Maybe they couldn't hear you.
Hey, you're right. You weren't there.
So what happened after the wedding?
She started eating cake, right, nonstop, for 45 years. You know what scares me now?
What?
When my wife says, "Does this thong make my ass look fat?"
You didn't answer that right.
I guess I shouldn't have.
What'd you say?
I asked her if it was a thong or if her ass grew over her panties.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I probably should have stopped there.
What else did you say?
I said, no, the thong doesn't make your ass look fat. Your fat ass makes your fat ass look fat. The thong is the victim.
Why are you telling me this?
It's a horror show, right?
Let's talk about Halloween.
All right, well, that's less scary.
Do you guys still get a lot of trick-or-treaters?
Not anymore.
Why?
Well, a couple of years ago, unfortunately, my wife answered the door with one of her knockers hanging out of her robe. Yeah, we still get therapy bills from those kids.
Did you actually say knockers?
Yeah, I guess now they're more like flappers. Hell, if she moves just right, they flopped like 2 doggy doors. Oh, yeah, last week she did jumping jacks and ended up with 2 black eyes. Then there are the teenagers who show up at your door with a sack and no costume.
Right.
They just had the munchies from smoking too much weed.
Weed?
Yeah, you know, pot.
I know.
Mary Jane.
Right.
Ganja. The Chronic. The Bangkok Blast Off. The Sticky Icky.
How do you know all this?
I have glaucoma.